Everyone, Kareem right here. Today we have Patrice Gheisar, who is the head coach at Halifax Wanderers FC that competes in the Canadian Premier League, also known as the CPL. Patrice joins the Wanderers after a storied career at Vaughan Azzurri in League1 Ontario. In 2022, he was named the league's coach of the year after leading his team to an undefeated season and league championship. Patrice, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Kareem. It's great to be here. I appreciate it. Thank you.
So, can you just take us back in time and just share how you got involved in the beautiful game?
Yeah, just like everyone else that ends up coaching or involved in the game, I started playing and then due to numerous injuries, I had to leave the game earlier. And I just did kind of coaching to help out some friends on my old club. And then I instantly made a connection and I felt really like I was able to make a big difference to some of the players' stories. And it just grew from there on.
Yeah, why was it coaching for you? Why didn't you pursue being a trainer or an agent?
I think when you do those things, you're able to help one. When I was coaching, I was able to help an entire team, and I felt like with all those things, you're help as an agent or as a trainer, you're able to help them for an immediate kind of need. But when you're coaching a team, you get to really formalize their patterns, their life behavior, their confidence, and things for many more years to come. So I just felt the impact was greater. And at the same time, it also pushed me to do more. It was something that interested me and intrigued me, and I felt a connection to it.
Understood. You have many years at Vaughan, coaching at Vaughan. Um, if you could just give us like the long story short at Vaughan, what was your experience like?
Yeah, it was 15 incredible years. And I mean, it's still to this day, I feel so emotional because I was a part of that club where I started the high performance along with support of Kareem, Sako, and just, we were minimal stuff. I started with an incredible 1991 born team that ended up producing many pros, and it just got better and better, where it was I was focusing on one team. When it came to the year after, the 92s did great. And this is the time of soccer was so raw but passionate, and there was promotions and relegations with the YSL, and it was Ontario Cup, and it was just a great scene to be a part of. And then after that, I ended up taking two teams, and now I'm focusing on the 18s and 17s. So the platform just became bigger and bigger, and we started to educate our players from even an earlier age before they graduated to high performance. And it just kept growing. And then with the birth of League1 Ontario about 10 years ago, that gave us even a higher platform to go to. And we continue going down that path. We help kids go to college. We help kids become pros. We help kids become better people for this world. So I'm very, very proud of the work that we were able to achieve at all.
Absolutely, soccer is a great platform. It's called the beautiful game for a reason. It brings people together from all around the world. You've been in the game longer than me. You know, how so you've seen it grow in Canada. So how is it back in the 1990s compared to compared to now and where you see it going in the future?
So I'll say this, with the growth that we have, obviously the prominence of our national team being in the World Cup is at its highest point we've ever been in quite some time. But I think if it wasn't for 90s to set up what's to come now, would have never happened. Obviously, MLS expanding was a major, major help for us as MLS continued to expand and grow. And having three Canadian teams, it even helped us more. And we had a lot of Canadian players there. I think the game was fast and technical, but I think as the years have gone on, we've become not only technical and fast, but we understand the tactics of the sport, and that's through the numerous coaches and our own coaches' education. It's great to have coaches from different countries that come here and teach, but our coaches are also getting better, and that's why these kids are getting better. So I think the game has grown. We've become better in managing games. We've become, most importantly for me, Kareem, it's the confidence we have. And that's got nothing to do with technical and tactics. Our kids believe they're as good as all the kids across the world. So when we play, we have a fighting chance. We don't go there as the major underdog. We go there with a chip on our shoulder that we want to fight. Where I see it going, I think now is a big one that we have to get over the next hurdle. I think we can't be happy just to participate in the World Cup. We can't be happy that we're good. I think we have to strive for greatness, and I think we're going to keep going. And I think we're going to start to see more and more kids not go to college and go straight to the pros like CPL and Europe. You look at the United States now, a lot of kids are not going to college for basketball. They're going straight into the developmental league, the D League, and then they're going to the NBA. So I think that these leagues, they're here to help these young athletes formalize and become better. So I think we're heading down the right path.
Absolutely. Yeah. I remember growing up not having a league to look up to in order to reach the next level. I always say this. I was always looking outside of Canada to go pro. But now, back in 2019, the CPL was created, which it gives players something to look up to and work harder towards. So I think it's great. And I always, shout out the masterminds that created the league and got the investors, so on and so forth. But I just want to go back a little bit. You mentioned League1. I focus a lot on the US soccer market. But I don't know too much about the Canadian market. So can you please share how the importance of League1 and then the connection between League1 and CPL?
Yeah, so first, League1 came in about 10 years ago. It was a league with high level of standards. So you have to have high level coaches, proper facilities, you have to have physio and good opponents. And what that allowed a club to do, let's say Vaughan and many other good clubs, have their 14 to 18-year-olds. When their 18-year-olds graduate, they don't need to go to PDL or USL League1. They ended up playing at League1. So let's say if we have little Johnny and little Johnny did great, progress. We help him get a scholarship. He goes there. But once he comes back for the summer, he's able to play in our League1 team. And that's when we stay connected to him, to his growth and his journey and his story. Kamal Miller played in League1. Dane St. Clair played in League1. Deion Harris played in League1. Alistair Johnston played in League1. And it helped them get competitive games and meaningful games in League1 to be prepared when they go back to school to progress. Having League1 participate in the Canadian Championship is the ultimate prize. I'm so grateful for the season we had last year with Vaughan. And I'm also, you know, standing by the side, wishing them the best as they play CF Montreal. I mean, what a game for them to have the opportunity to play a MLS team on the first game in Canada Cup is incredible. And I think League1 is providing high level data analytics and competition for these young players to also prepare for CPL. As CPL made a commitment and bought League1, it really showed that these two leagues are working hand in hand. So you talk about CPL and having a D League. Well, that's our D League, League1, where all these young players play, and CPL coaches can go and look at them and find the right fit.
Amazing. I've heard about that too. Okay, cool. Your transition from Vaughan to Halifax, was it a hard transition or was it an easy transition to say, yes, I'm going to take this position and we're going?
I mean, listen, it's such a, it's never, it's incredible because it's your dream come true. Every young man wants to be a professional player and every coach wants to be a professional coach. When I still say that, I get goosebumps. Like when someone introduces me as a professional soccer coach. Never in my wildest dreams did I think so. But I leave a lot behind, an incredible club that gave me massive opportunities in Vaughan, an incredible home and friends in Toronto. So, it was exciting, but also a very difficult choice, right? But sometimes, when you look at those things, you have to ask yourself, is this decision difficult because I'm so connected to those people? And also, is it because I'm comfortable? And I think all of us, once in a while, have to come out of our comfort zone because these opportunities don't come by too often in this country.
Yeah, that's huge. And congratulations to you. And you're the first coach in the CPL that I'm having on the podcast. So it's really awesome.
Oh, I'm honored. Yeah, it's great to hear.
You're also connected to York University, York Region Shooters. Maybe that's an old name. If
Both. I mean, I played at York University and I
Yeah,
also was an assistant there for 2 years. And we actually won a Canadian National Championship there in 2010, which was incredible. And also in the old CSL, I also did play for York Region Shooters as well. So a combination of both.
got it. Do you still have those connections or?
I mean, I would say definitely not as much with the shooters, but with York University, our club head coach, Kareem Isako, is also the head coach at York University. So it's there, but I wouldn't say in regards of me being able to do anything other than just supporting them and wishing them the best.
Understood. So I quote, I'm reading this off of CPL's website, or I got it off CPL's website. Patrice was ultimately selected for the job after an extensive search process, which attracted many strong applicants. After making an initial short list of candidates, uh, Patrice impressed the club enough for them to pick him as the man to lead Halifax as the head coach. What was the process once you knew you were selected to be the head coach? Was it very complex, or was it a very smooth transition?
Well, I mean, the ownership and the management group here is incredible, and part of the reason why I was so drawn to it. Once I think the process wasn't easy. Lots of interview, lots of presentations, as there should be, as such an incredible position. I mean, this is probably one of the top positions in this country, if not the top job. Obviously, the MLS teams have a lot on the go, but that was incredible. But I would say, in regards of the final steps, once the offer was made, it was just a family decision for us to go over the details and the steps we needed to take. So it wasn't that complicated, and they certainly made it easy by every conversation we had.
Amazing. So, what is the plan for the club heading into the 2023 season of the CPL?
I think there's just so much to do that it's difficult to identify it. Sometimes when you aim for 15 things, you achieve nothing. But when you try to aim for three things, you could potentially achieve all three. So for me, we're going to try to take care of what we can control. We're going to try to, develop a strong culture that everyone loves the team and everyone loves each other. That's what we can control. Then we're going to try to play a real good brand of football that becomes the standard. And I think that now we add an identity. So once you got the culture and the identity, what a good place. Yeah, sure. I'll say the obvious. We want to win the league. We want to win every game. We want to make massive improvements the last year. But I think for me, we got to start with somewhere. And it's the culture and it's our identity. And then, our journey also includes soccer, Nova Scotia, and in the entire Atlantic. And then, so what we're going to try to do is work hand to hand with the clubs here to formalize them to be stronger, better, and true partners to us.
Amazing. I've had experiences with different coaches along the way, as other players have too. What is your coaching style, and how do you help develop players?
Yeah, I guess one, there's just never a blueprint, Kareem, because then, it's not like it's the Coca-Cola secret. It's every player is different. Some player responds to, per se, two kicks and a hug. Some just need a hug and a push. Some need a slap and a kick and maybe a hug. So I think encouragement, but the bigger things when you think about it, and what I'm really speaking about here is just understanding the player, taking the time and letting them know you have confidence in them. Confidence makes you do incredible things. We have to bring confidence in them. And then you have to look at them and say, how do you make them feel confident? How can you push them? And we try to put them in situations that's very challenging, Kareem. We try to give them the toughest games that there is and hope for them to achieve, great success.
Amazing. Second last question. What does your day-to-day look like? I know it's not the same. So can you just give a glimpse to our viewers of, what
Well, right now it's really different because we're in the pre-planning. So we're spending a lot of time in the office and trying to have meetings with our players about style of play, set pieces. We're trying to plan our sessions. So the stuff that's maybe not this most exciting part of being a coach because you just want to be on the field. Once the team arrives, we're pretty much on the field every single day. And, we would get in at 8 o'clock, 8:15 in the morning. The guys relax. We set up the field, come back, have a quick word, get on the field, finish, go back to the change rooms. They stretch, ice bath. And at this point, we have a team meal, we do some video, and then the guys go home and we get to do it all over again. And now over there, you start to throw in travel. And travel for us, someone else just told me that the travel that we'll do this year is the same distance as it is from Canada to Australia. Like, it is grueling, and it's a part of it. So we're trying to plan to make things as easy as possible for our athletes.
Got it. Yeah, and there's also a budget to it that you guys got to manage, right?
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
Last question before the quick fun ones. What's your most memorable soccer moment in your life?
Oh, I mean, I would probably say, you know, my first Ontario Cup failure, which was its height of the moments with my 1991 team, which was an incredible team, and overcoming that the year after and winning Ontario Cup with my 1992 team, it just gave me a thirst of winning, and I just couldn't let go, And I would say, winning Canadian National Championship with York University at 2010 was incredible. And I mean, this past year with Seneca College losing in the Canadian National Championship final in extra time has to be up there for me. I mean, the transformation we went through at Seneca and in 3 years and where we took them was incredible. It really was incredible.
Nice. All right. Just some quick fun questions, speed questions.
Sure.
Who's your favorite football team around the world?
Barcelona.
Favorite player?
Oof. What Messi / Iniesta / Xavi.
Yeah, you look like an Iniesta and Chevy guy.
Yeah. Yes, I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. I love them.
Favorite cleats?
I've not worn a pair of boots for quite some time. So I would say Nike Tiempos in black.
Favorite food?
Oh, that's a good one. You know what? Chicken wings, spicy.
Favorite artist musically?
I'm driving everybody crazy here because at my office I keep listening to classical music. So I do love that. But if I have to go away with something that I truly love, I would say Queen or Michael Jackson.
Okay. And the last one is a big one. Messi or Ronaldo?
Oh, that's not a big one. Messi for sure. That's an easy one.
You mentioned, the Canadian national team being in the 2022 World Cup, but 2026 is down the line. Pipeline, Canada, US, Mexico are hosting. Do you see, oh, well, this is not a good question, but do you see Canadian making it further than the group?
Yeah, for sure. We're heading there. And it's not that I also see it. I think we have to. Because if we're not progressing, then we're not on the right path. So I think we will and we have to.
Right. Patrice, before we go, I want to thank you for taking the time for joining us on the One Soccer Nation podcast today.
Thanks, Kareem.